Well, welcome to Wild Wisdom Trip 3 on another one of our crazy adventures into the New Zealand backblocks with absolutely no food. So this time round we're off for 5 days. We're going down a river into the Wanganui National Park, and yeah, it promises to be a pretty interesting journey. I've just put the kayak in about half an hour ago upstream actually, and I've just wiped out in one of the first rapids, so not a good look, not a good start. I've got a little sit on top kayak which I sometimes use, but I've never used it in whitewater or bigger rivers such as this, so it's a bit of an unknown. I'm just going to have to take it as it comes. So anyway, we've got about, I don't know, 6 or 7 k's to go downstream to where I want to camp. Probably won't get there all the way today. I'm going to have to stop and line it around some of the worst rapids. The river's up a bit, it's a bit flooded, it's been raining a lot, and there's probably more rain on the way, so we're going to have to be a bit slow and careful. I've had a bit of a fright, and I'm just going to have to take it easy, I think. Yeah, so as usual we're having to hunt, fish and forage for our food the next 5 days. I've got absolutely nothing with me. And by now you'll know my catchphrase is not even a bloody tea bag. So I'm hoping we'll get a game animal of some kind. I've just seen a couple of goats upstream, so that's promising. Hopefully get a trout or two. There should be a bit of fern growth, a few other plants around. It is springtime, so things are starting to grow. So we'll give it a crack. Not only have we got no food, of course, we're doing it in the style of alone. So we've got our 10 items and that's it, very minimal gear. When I unpack my bag at camp, either tonight or tomorrow night, I'll go through all those items with you and just show you what I've got. So yeah, pretty basic, bit of an adventure. It's, yeah, hopefully going to get picked up at the other end in a 5 days time. So I'm just going to dry out in the sun a bit and let my nerves settle down and carry on our way. Catch you soon, eh? Well, as we go down the river, we're looking out for anything that's useful for a fire tonight, as tinder or even a bit of tucker. So I found some toy. This is great tinder, so hopefully it's dried out a bit in the sun, and we'll be able to get a fire cranked up tonight, because I'm soaking wet after that spill earlier on. So I'm actually drying up and I'm not too warm, not too cold. Sun's out, so that's always good. But I'm taking it pretty slowly. We've probably done about 3 k's maybe in the last hour and a half, 2 hours, and I'm not taking any chances on the rapids. The boat I've got is not really suited to whitewater. Yeah, so lesson learned there. Right tool for the right job, people. So I would have been better off with a whitewater boat of some kind, but anyway, that's what I had on hand, so I'm going to carry on. I'm committed, really. There's no way out of here now without arduous overland walk for a couple of days. So I'm committed. I'm just going to take it nice and easy, and yeah, we'll get there. Just got to be slow and steady. just landed on shore, a little beach, because I've just seen 3 goats just round the corner. So it's about 4 o'clock. It's actually time I stopped and camped anyway, because I'm bloody cold and hungry. So I'm not going to get all the way to where I want to go tonight. So I think it's worth setting up the bow and sneaking around there and having a crack. I've just wandered back up into the trees, but they haven't gone too far, so they didn't look frightened as such, so I'm pretty sure they'll still be there. Worth a crack anyway. Well, as you probably saw, those goats had wandered a bit further than I thought, so not to worry. I think I'll get camp set up and go for a wander later on, get a change of clothes, maybe get some firewood together. Not a bad spot right here really, quite not a bad little level spot right here. Beautiful bit of river. So we'll grab the boat and gear and bring it down here. I'm hoping those goats, I might even hear them bleating later on, give me an idea where they are. It's quite bluffy up behind camp, so I'm picking they'll be up around those bluffs somewhere. Anyway, it's nice to get off the water and get dried up. Okay, I said I'd go through my gear before I set up camp, so just very quickly for those of you who've just joined us, we'll wrap through it. Well, where do we start? Just a bow, just a long bow, 45 pound black hunter, seems to go bang and do the job. Got 6 arrows. 6 arrows with broad heads, carbon fibre, 30-inch jobs, awesome. Right, everything's in dry bag because we're in the boat. We've been getting chances of getting wet very high. Wet weather gear, leggings, dry shirt, dry jersey, dry shirt. I've got a couple of changes of everything, I think. Dry shirt, good sleeping bag. Bit overkill for this time of year, but quite nice. Fortunately it looks fairly dry still. Good down bag, -17, so should be alright for this time of year. Another shirt there. A couple of pillowcases, which is a pretty handy just for either a bit of a foraging bag or to chuck some meat in, especially this time of year in the spring when there's usually a few flies around. It's pretty hard to keep meat clean and free of fly eggs and what have you, so a couple of those. You can make do without that. I could use clothes, tie them up, make some sort of a bag, but I thought I might as well. So in this one, I think that must be the rest of my clothes. Double bagged it just to be safe. Yep, dry shirt, underpants, pair of shorts, pair of long pants, pair of socks, should be all good. There's my tarp, my fly. I'm not bringing a tarp, but just a little fly like we had last time, and we'll just pitch it up there. Nice and low, should be fine. There's my other meat bag. And this box of tricks here, this were broadheads for the arrows. But guess what? The last couple of trips I've made do with a crappy old Leatherman that had 2 broken blades, so I've been out and bought a brand spanking new Leatherman. It's a Wave Plus, and I haven't used it yet. It looks awesome. Blades are razor sharp, so looking forward to give that a good go. We have a PLB, absolutely critical, I think, if you're doing these solo trips anywhere, even if it's not a solo trip. You know, things can turn to custard real quick, and it's peace of mind for everybody if you've got that as a backup plan in an emergency. So headlamp and spare batteries there somewhere, and there's my trusty ferro rod. The ferro rod, pretty worn out, but it'll work. Chucked in a little bit of wire with one of my 10 items. Never know when you're going to have to make up a rod, make some rings for a rod, or I could potentially try and snare a possum if I found a bit of sign as well. Small 10-pound line. We'll have a crack at a trout hopefully at some stage if we can find some bait. Huge rivers, should be full of fish, and bloody hard to get to as well, I must admit. So yeah, in the next few days we'll certainly give that a crack. So fish hooks, about a dozen fish hooks, spare batteries, Allen key for my bow, it's a takedown bow, so I've pulled it apart, put it in my pack while I've been in the kayak, just keep it safe, reduce the chance of breakage. So what else? Just about there. No, I've got a little bit of GoPro stuff, you know, maps, got to know where we are, and I've chucked the GPS in so I can mark places on the river that I can identify on the map, and it'll tell me how far I've gone. So tonight we'll hopefully get a pretty good idea where we are and how much further we've got to go down to where I want a more permanent campsite. Duct tape for the boat in the likely scenario where we put a hole in the bloody thing, because we've been banging over rocks all day. So I'm a bit worried that sooner or later something's going to give, so a bit of duct tape might save our bacon. A little bit of paracord, come in handy for tying up something. What else was there? Raincoat. In that pocket there I've got 3 power banks for the GoPro. Billy. Tiny little fry pan. Oh, yeah, the old machete, you know, instead of an axe, the old machete. Hopefully will be useful for hunting up a bit of bait or chopping up a bit of wood. And the good old faithful rusty old fold up saw. You'll be it's probably just along for the scenic ride really. You could probably cut a worm in half with it, but you know, wouldn't want to build a house with the bloody thing. That's it. I think we'll try and get camp set up now and get organised. I've just seen those goats again. They're only about 70 yards away from camp, grazing on the riverbank, so I'm going to stop setting up camp, grab my bow and creep along there. The wind's good. There's a good chance we'll get a whack at one of these. Well, that was a bit disappointing. That that hunt went really well. Unfortunately, I must have had the setting wrong on the camera as I was headed off to have a crack at those goats. But I did get a good clean shot. Got a nice nanny goat first shot. She didn't run very far at all. So, funny enough, she's only 50 yards from camp. So we'll go and hang her up in the tree, and we'll have some nice handy meat. Just as I've speaking, actually, there's a mob of billy goats that have come across the river as well on the other side. They've just come down under the bluffs onto some nice green grass. So there's a bit of activity around, which is great. Also, I noticed the sandflies have turned up, so I could do without those little buggers. But anyway, camp's all organised, so just got to get some firewood together, get a fire going now, and we'll have to go and scavenge around and see what we can find for dinner. Time's ticking by. It's 5:45 now, so yeah, hungry. Wash was taking shape. Made myself a bit of a wallow hole under the tent there. It's nice and sandy, so I've shaped it up. Just need to get some nice ferns now and make a bit of a mattress. Get it nice and comfortable. Nothing worse than a terrible night's sleep. The wind is an issue at the moment. It's a pain in the butt, so trying to get this to night could be tricky. The wildfire's dying down over there, creating some good coals. I went and hang this goat up and yeah, get the hide off it maybe, get a bit of meat in the bag, maybe for some kai. Bat, scoring as hell. Anyway, get a couple of legs off the the old back steak. Right. Well, that's the best of it. It's a fair bit of weight there. Good bit of feed that'll last for a couple of days easy. I'm not going to get too fussy about the rest of it. There's plenty of goats around and they're absolute bloody pests wherever you go in New Zealand. So everyone I can get is a plus for the environment. So I'll put this in the water later on tonight and see if any eels come round. Otherwise we'll better get moving. It's getting near dark. I've got to get up into the bush and see what we can find as way as vegetation goes. So hopefully something to go with our goat. Alright, we're just going to head up into the bush now and see what's around as far as vegetation goes. I've seen a few things as I was walking around looking for those goats earlier, so hopefully you can scavenge up the feed. That would be a bit of supplejack. I haven't seen any new shoots of supplejack because I think the goats eat them off pretty quick, but I have seen a bit of kawa. That's good. We can make a brew up with that and eat the leaves. I'll grab a bit of that. Kawa. Should be a bit more around. Yep. Come with me and I'll show you what I've found. Got a goat carcass in the creek here, and there's a big writhing mass of eels on it. There's at least 3 there that I can see, 3 or 4. Yeah, it's just on dark, so they're all pouring out of the river. I'm in 2 minds whether to try and catch one of those or not. We've actually got quite a bit of meat on hand. Looks like there's heaps of eels in there, so I don't think I'll bother. I'll have a think about that. We'll get dinner inside me first. I haven't even eaten that yet. In case you missed it, nothing to get too excited about, but I'll show you what we've got. We've got a pan of back steak and eye fillet sizzling there. Couldn't find a lot up there in the way of vegetation. The goats had beaten me to it, but I've got a few fiddleheads, some kawa cooking up there, so I'll have a kawa cup of tea, which was already had one. I'm going to have another one in a minute, and I'll eat those fiddleheads. That'll give me at least something to digest tonight. It's been a long day. I haven't had anything to eat or drink actually since about 7 this morning, so need it. Yeah, being wet all day, of course, you burn a fair bit of energy just sort of trying to keep warm, so not really ideal. I've had a bit of a look at the GPS, and I think I've still got about another 3 k's to go to get to where I want to camp. So probably tomorrow we're going to head on down. I'm a bit concerned about a couple of places. One is marked as rapids on the map, which could be serious. If I can't get round the edge of it, I don't know what I'm going to do. We'll have to take that as it comes. So anyway, one step at a time. We'll get a feed in us tonight and get a good night's sleep. Hopefully the weather holds out. Yeah, cruise on tomorrow around a couple more corners, see what we find. There's one big bugger back there. There's at least 10, I think. Doing a right royal feed. Well, it's the end of our first day. First night about to start. So, yeah. Had a bit of a fright. Just taking it easy now.
The river's a lot more dangerous than I thought it was, so I'm just going to have to be real careful. Nice and slow and steady, and line the boat down there, any rough bits at all. It doesn't handle the rapids at all, just sort of sit on top, so going to have to be bloody careful until I get down to the lower reaches where hopefully it'll level out a bit. Yeah, got a goat first night, which is awesome. Chewy as hell, so I think tomorrow for breakfast we'll probably eat the heart, liver, or some of the liver and kidney, and hopefully a bit more chewable. Anyway, I got a bit of feed in the old belly, and hopefully it'll keep me going. Couple of cups of tea, probably a bit dehydrated because I haven't had anything to drink all day. Anyway, see what the night brings. I can still hear those eels thrashing around down there, having a great feed, so they'll be happy. And hopefully the old campsite stays nice and dry. I can see stars up high, so here's fingers crossed that we get another good day. I'd like to get right down in the lower reaches here before the rain comes in a couple of days. I don't want to be mucking around in these rapids with elevated water levels. It's bad enough as it is, and it's actually still semi-flooded, but a heap more rain could cause real problems. So anyway, we'll get there, and maybe we'll have a change in diet tomorrow night. Maybe we'll even get an eel on the bank and get some fish. That'd be nice for a change. Catch you in the morning.